So, what are there any Christian things in your life that you think, besides this one that you just named, do you think you sort of weirdly stuck with you, even if now you can't understand why you're doing it?
I love the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Because that
And
comes
I'm,
through in your videos. I mean, I listen to your videos
yeah.
sometimes. It's like, boy, this guy's interesting in this.
Do you know who Elaine Pagels is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast with her this morning
Is
and
the
it
Alex
sounds,
O'Connor podcast?
yeah,
Yeah, I haven't
I've got a
listened to it
fat
yet, but I saw she was on. I thought, oh, that's interesting.
I've got a fat friend crush on him, man. I want nothing more than to, grab a pint with him at a pub and like life goal will be accomplished if I ever meet him. Um, but so, it sounds like she has a fat crush on some of the Gnostic texts. And
That's for a
I,
long time.
yeah, yeah. Um, then, props to her. She's the Gnostic queen.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think that I have, a crush on the the Christian mythos.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's beautiful. I think the Trinity is complicated and elegant, and I think the plan of salvation makes sense. Um, there's baggage, right? There's a lot of things that I would change, if I could write my own religion. Um, but a lot of the things that are kind of hangups for atheists or secularists just really aren't for me. For me, it just boils down to the fact that I don't think it's historically true, and it bums me out. But I take Paul seriously in 1 Corinthians 15, that if the dead are not raised, then we of all men are most to be pitied. If the dead are not raised, if Christ has not bodily resurrected from the dead, then this religion is not worth pursuing.
Hmm.
I take him seriously at that. And and I think he's right. And the reason why I don't call myself, I don't know, I don't know what the term for it is. I mean, I guess it's kind of like Christian liberal now, if you believe that the story of Christianity is largely mythological. Um, Not the mythicist movement. I don't
Yeah.
know. But it's like I have too much respect for Christianity as a world religion to bastardize it like that
Yeah.
and say like, well, I like some of these teachings of Jesus and do unto others and the 99 and the one, like those are good concepts. I'm going to take those and choose those and that just seems really contrived and disingenuous to me. So I made a decision early on. I'm not going to deconstruct. I'm going to deconvert. And that's usually my message to to Christians is either believe or deconvert. But I just don't know. Like I don't see the sense in trying to shoehorn Jesus into an ideology that he just wasn't a part of. Um,
So what?
no, and I think the bulk of nihilism hit me at 23, and it's been kind of an upward journey since then. So I kind of I'm still looking for the proper vocabulary to describe what it is I think and feel.
Hmm.
Because on the one hand, I believe that you're worthless. I believe that you have no inherent value or worth, period, end of story. I don't believe in right and wrong, or good and evil. I don't believe that murder is wrong, rape, pillage, and plunder are wrong. Um, at the same time, I really love people. At the same time, I really want to make you smile. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and I choose to live my life that way because it makes me happy,
yeah.
because I it makes me happy when the people around me are happy. And even though I believe at a cognitive level that you don't have any worth, in my heart, like, man, you're worth more than the world.
Yeah.
And I think that I hold those in tandem, that I almost have like an illusory sense of morality. Um, And people, I feel like I've heard Jordan Peterson say, like, well, you can't be a nihilist because if you were truly a nihilist, you would go around and machine gun everyone down. And one of my friends asked me this. I
Yeah.
remember we were in Arkansas and we were hanging out with our buddy for his bachelor party, and Um, Josh turns to me and he's like, Jared, if you're a nihilist, why don't you just go outside and just pick up a gun and just start shooting people? Why don't you just mow down a school? I said, because I don't want to. And I really don't like that. That's why I'm not an advocate for nihilism. I'm not
When you say
event.
you really don't like that, what do you mean?
I don't like that that's the only thing that's barring me from doing that.
Oh,
I don't have a sense of like, oh, well, I ought not to do it because it's the wrong thing to do. And for people who aren't privy to this conversation, their immediate reaction is like, but it would hurt people, but it would cause suffering, it would
right,
cause
right,
pain.
right, right.
And the nihilist's response is, yes, but why objectively is that wrong? Why is it worse that we do that to people or kids or than to do it to worms or animals or dirt? Um, where is the yardstick that determines the worth and value of a human versus an animal? So I don't like the fact that I think it is the case that humans don't have innate worth. I don't like the fact that the only thing that dictates that a certain act, homicide, genocide, infanticide, is wrong is that it's my personal preference. I think that is the case, and it bums me out. And for me, I think it's fine because I don't see a world in which I just one day wake up and want to start killing people. I don't
Yeah,
think that's in the cards.
yeah, yeah.
Um, it makes me uncomfortable that I don't have a framework to damn people. It makes me uncomfortable that I can't look somebody in the eye, a John Wayne Gacy, and say, you're a bastard and you've done something objectively wrong.
Hmm.
I wish I could. I wish I could say, you're worse than all these other people. You're worse than the saints in the church. You're worse than the praying ladies. But I don't have any sense of hierarchy. Ultimately, in my mind, it comes down to majority rule, which feels awfully fascistic, feels awfully dictatorial. It feels very might makes right. Um, and I wish that weren't the case, but I think, unfortunately, tragically, it is. And so to all the young men who are coming to you and saying, hey, I've listened to 50 hours of Jordan Peterson, and now I don't want to blow my brains out. Please, for the love of God, keep listening to Jordan Peterson and don't listen to me. Um, this is a really uncomfortable philosophy. It is a deeply unsettling ideology that I don't wish upon anyone. And giving up the idea of innate human worth and objective morality is painful, it's gross, it's detestable. But I only believe it because I think it's true.